everyone, and welcome back to our channel. We are the Seekers of the Arcane, and in today's video we want to go over with you guys 4 different important points having to do with the paranormal investigations that we do. We figured that these 4 important points will help you guys understand further what we do and why we do it the way that we do it, if that makes any sense, and how all of those things, how they're necessary for the paranormal investigations.
So this is more of the esoteric and occult practices side of it. These are teachings that I have learned along the way, 13 years and plus of just studying and understanding certain concepts, and it correlates with ghost hunting because it's interacting with the other side, right? So it's understanding what that is. It's understanding what the other side is.
So with that being said, this majority will be taken over by Jesse. First point, go ahead and take it away, babe.
So what is magic? From my understanding, I've tried to define it to its simplest term, and it's basically the art of influence, and it's understanding the cause and effect of things. It is the mysteries of life that you have to really dive deep into what it is. Sure, it's casting spells, invoking, evocation, creating a sacred circle, but it's understanding why you're doing that. It's understanding the concepts and the symbolism of your actions.
The second point is now, what is consciousness?
Consciousness, what I have boiled it down to, is basically the awareness of thoughts entering into the mind. The awareness is basically the function of consciousness. So consciousness is not awareness, but it's a function of it. It also differentiates the thoughts and mind. So you have a physical brain, but the mind is the electrical system of the brain. Your mind is like an antenna that catches thoughts. Thoughts are frequencies. And so this part, it's basically my understanding. It's what I've led up to. It's not what a lot of people think it is, and that's okay. This is just what I think it is, and I think it's the mind of the soul.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously everything that we talk about here, everything, absolutely everything, down to the practices, to the information, all that stuff, is based upon our understanding of the information and the knowledge that we research on and that we read up on and that we practice. So you could take all this with a grain of salt, or you could take it for what it is. Obviously, if you guys have any questions about any of these things, you can, or if you want us just to elaborate even further into subjects like this, of course, you can let us know in the comments, and we'll be glad to either make a different video or a separate video, etc., etc. So let's get into the third topic, which is know thyself. And go ahead and take it away.
The old axiom of know thyself is actually very important in this practice, because it's very important to have that concentration and that understanding of what you are doing. So what I have narrowed it down to is you are the choice in between every action. So this narrows down your concentration to a point. And so meaning that you're not your name, you're not the label that you have gave yourself, you're not
your identity that you identify with.
Right, you're not your identity.
Mm-hmm.
You aren't your job, you aren't even your body or your thoughts. And that choice that you make every day makes you more conscious. Some people go life was just being on autopilot. They let their subconscious run their life. So to understand who you are, you have to be conscious 24/7, which is really hard to do, but it's a practice, and it's a form of understanding concentration and how important concentration is and how long you can hold that concentration for.
And obviously, the more that you do those things, the more that you get, again, in touch with who and what you really are. And once you get close to that, you now understand, or you get closer to understanding, again, the more you put forth these practices, what lies beyond this life that we so very much attach ourselves to. And everything that we have right here and right now, other than our consciousness, our soul, is not permanent. It moves on and transforms into something else, which is what we're here trying to figure out, which is why we're here trying to get deeper into these paranormal investigations, so we can, again, get deeper into the unknown. So now, fourth and final topic, before we close out the video and bring it all home, is what is imagination?
The imagination is basically a doorway. It is a doorway into the inner world. It's something that we can't see physically. It is something you can't see with your physical senses. To use the imagination properly, you do have to develop your inner senses. So you have 5 senses that are technically one. You have eyesight, smell, taste, hearing, and feeling. But all these are really just one sense. It's the sense of touch, because photons have to touch your eyes. Particles have to touch your nose glands. Sound waves have to touch your eardrums. And anything has to touch your tongue or your skin to feel and or taste. I wanted to read something real fast. It doesn't come from me, but it comes from a reliable source. So it involves developing a refined mental state where images, symbols, or messages can emerge clearly and authentically, rather than being shaped by our own expectations or subconscious influences. So
just to quickly elaborate just a little bit on that, when you start to develop all 5 of those senses, our regular, normal, everyday senses, and you start to actually develop them, which again, we can go into another video at a different time on how to develop those senses and stuff, right? But we're not going to get into it here because it's going to be way too long. But once you do all that, then you start to now get in more touch with your inner 5 senses. Those are when you start to touch into all the clairs, right? Which is, they call the clairs. There's 5 different clairs. One of them is like clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, clairalience, and clairgustance. And all those clairs obviously, again, have to do with now your inner senses that are now, or that you will now also work on developing as well, which gets you also closer to understanding and seeing into and feeling and all that stuff into the inner realm, and henceforth the paranormal. But those definitely are important to develop when it comes to wanting to get closer into the spirit realm. And to finally close it all up, all 4 of those again, important topics and points, what all those have to do with our paranormal investigation is that we take all those points and we put them into practice. But not only that, and it's not to say that we're perfect at it or anything like that, it's to say that these are the things that we're developing, and that we're aware of a lot of these things, but we also need to still continuously develop them and have stronger understandings, so that way we become better and more in-depth paranormal investigators. We do things in our investigations that have meaning to it, because there is an actual practice into when you're trying to actually investigate into the spirit realms and into the paranormal realms. If you're trying to actually know what's going on, and if you're actually trying to understand the land and the hauntings that are said to take place, there is a certain type of way, a correct way into doing it, you know, and obviously a way where it offers you safety and protection, because knowledge is power, and to have this knowledge, it plays a major role in our investigation. So with, again, all of that being taken into consideration, hopefully it makes some sort of sense. We will now end the video here. We hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys do have any questions at all, again, you could reach us down in our social medias down below, or again, you can email us. If you can find our email address, it should be there somewhere. If you have any paranormal locations that you want to suggest for us to take a look at, go ahead and suggest and leave them and comment them down below. Don't forget to give this video a like, and if you could subscribe to our channel, it would really be helping us out. We hope that you guys stay curious about the paranormal realms and the spiritual world as much as we do. And we hope that you continue following us on our journey and our development into the paranormal. So we'll see you guys next time in our next paranormal investigation. Bye.
Peace.